Hi there everyone, my name is Andrew, and today we're going to be talking about a news article from New Hampshire One. And this is actually a pretty big subject for me, and I'm a pretty big advocate of this. So the headline is, Battle over legalizing marijuana kicks off in New Hampshire State Senate. Fantastic. Now, the article reads, the top Democrat in the state Senate says that when it comes to marijuana laws, New Hampshire needs to be more progressive and more open. We don't want to become the quote-unquote Mississippi of the Northeast. But Republican state senators, who among those leading the opposition to the bill would legalize the use of up to 1 ounce of marijuana by people 21 or older, says children can be hurt if the measure becomes law. State Senate Minority Leader Jeff Woodburn, sponsor of the bill, told New Hampshire One News on Tuesday that reform is needed and we need to be pushing it. His bill 233FN would set up a study committee of lawmakers that would meet as necessary to create the framework and bureaucracy to determine the whole lot of different issues to marijuana legalization would look like. And we're going to actually stop reading the article right there for a second. First off, Woodburn, you're kind of doing something okay, but, on the other hand, fuck yourself. There is no reason why we need to have a separate committee formed for this. The groundwork has already been laid. It's already been legal medically in California for over 20 years, and more recently, in fact last year, has been made recreational. Okay? They already have the whole groundwork in. Colorado also has recreational, and they actually have an issue of not children being hurt, but having too much money from taxes collected from selling marijuana. That's right. And what are they doing with that money? They're putting it back in infrastructure. They're putting it back in the schools, the roads, the cities, and everything. How cool would that be if your state would actually fund its infrastructure by taxing something properly that people want that won't hurt you or kill anyone? The article goes on to say that voters in Massachusetts and Maine last November approved the recreational use of marijuana, and New Hampshire remains the only state in New England where people are subject to arrest and prosecution of possessing small amounts of marijuana. Woodburn explained that all of our neighbors have either passed legalization or they're moving towards legalization, so New Hampshire becomes this odd one out. And the lawmaker from North Country argued that we need to be more progressive and more open. We do not want to become, again, the Mississippi of the Northeast, where people have to worry about driving through the state. It's like driving through the South in the 60s. This is not something that we need to be proud of, and that's actually true. I do live up in North Country, and I moved from southern New Hampshire, and I came up here, and really it is the South of the North up here. It's actually really, really upsetting, but that's not what this video is about. Let's see here. We need to get with the program if we want to attract young people. We need to be more progressive. And that's true. North Country has been stagnant for a good long time. And part of the reason for that is the town planners don't want anything growing up here because they want to keep the old town, small town charm and everything. The problem with that is everyone like myself up here is suffering economically because of their decision to keep this small town feel. That, again, this isn't the topic, but we'll talk about this in another video, because I got a whole rant about North Country that I would like to make. Let's see here. We need to be more progressive, more thoughtful about what we need to do to compete for those entrepreneurs, those business people, these professionals that we want residing in Granite State. Woodburn talked to New Hampshire News minutes after testifying about his bill in front of the Judiciary Committee. On that committee, freshman Senator Bill Gannon, who's opposed to the bill, bringing up Granite State's heroin and opioid epidemic. Gannon told New Hampshire One News that if the bill becomes laws, I think we'll have more deaths from this. We've had numerous testimony that it's a gateway drug. Alright, so, what we're talking about right now is marijuana a gateway drug? There have been thousands of studies now, and every single one of them denies marijuana being a gateway drug. The idea that marijuana is a gateway drug is a remnant of reefer madness, and reefer madness came about in the 20s when hemp was being grown and it was more profitable than trees and the problem with that is shut up please. Paper mills were losing money because or not paper mills, logging companies were losing money because they decided to these logging companies were losing money because hemp grows a lot faster. It grows, you can jam a lot more of it into a smaller space, and it's more fibrous, meaning that you get more out of the plant. And our logging industry in America, which was a major part of the economy at the time, started freaking out because the paper mills were buying hemp. Everyone started buying hemp for building and making stuff, which, was a problem to them. So what they did is they started lobbying the government, saying that, hey, our business is going to die, and you know very well that we're really, really established, and that if we go down, it's going to cause a problem with the economy. Alright, so that's right there. The government's like, well, okay, well, we hear what you're saying, but how do we ban this without major controversy? And the idea was come up that we should demonize it. We should tell people that it'll make black men rape your white women. It'll make you into a fiend. It'll destroy your family. It'll destroy your home. No, anyone that smoked pot just knows the only thing you're gonna destroy is a fucking bag of chips. Alright, back to this. So, let's see here. This guy over here, freshman Bill Gannon, is stuck in the era of reefer madness, and that's not okay with me. We're in the middle of an opioid crisis. Marijuana is not an opioid. In fact, so not really important there. Also, there have been studies done that show that marijuana actually reduces opioid abuse, and people will switch over to marijuana in favor of opioids, given the chance. So, there's that. He compared the situation to beer, and that kids will think, if it's okay for adults to do beer, it's okay for minors as well. I want to stop you right there because that logic is flawed. If a kid sees a person doing heroin, do you think the kid's going to be like, oh, well, they're doing it, I should do it? You can't use that logic. You cannot use that logic, especially for something that's more benign than beer, that has killed less people than beer. And by killed less people, I mean I think it's killed 3 people, and that's been from bales of the shit falling out of a truck onto people. Not from actual health-related issues, but like being crushed. Okay. The hearing of the Senate bill came 2 weeks after the House Criminal Justice and Public Safety Committee voted 14-2 to approve House Bill 640, bill that would decriminalize possession of an ounce or less of marijuana. That measure could get a vote by the full House of Representatives by March 9th. And I am sincerely hoping that we can finally catch up with everyone else, because it's actually kind of embarrassing to be the only New England state with a motto that's live free or die, that we can't fucking smoke pot. Alright, so New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu is on record as favoring decriminalizations of small amounts of marijuana. Gannon said that Woodburn's bill would pass the Judiciary Committee, but he predicted that it would die after deadlocking 12-12 in the full Senate. Gannon said that if the measure did pass, he would try to derail it through the courts. So we have what's called obstructionism in government, and this is actually not how government is supposed to work. It's either supposed to be yay or nay, and if the people want it, if it's got high support, it should be supported, and fuck what you say. That's right. Let's see here. Gannon said, how can we be legalizing things that are against federal law? How have other states done it and have started thriving? I don't know, jackass. Do we have any right at all to act on marijuana when it's a Class A federal substance? When you consider the plant is for some reason classified in the same realm as heroin and, fucking opium and shit like that, I just don't get it. I don't understand how this guy could be so fucking dense. I'd like to have a court advise on that. Woodburn acknowledged that realistically, it's a tough uphill battle. I know the governor and the GOP leadership don't want this bill, and they're settled on decriminalization. They want to be settled on discriminalization. That's as far as we go, and that's what it is. He added, "We need to keep the pressure going. The people want this. This is their government, and we need to listen to the people." Fucking right, Mr. Woodburn. I didn't vote for you, but god damn it, that is correct. It is the people's government, and this is ours. Alright? Personally, I'm tired of this whole debate going on. I'm tired of this, wasting time in our government. It's harmless. There's no deaths ever recorded from use of it. There's no studies that suggest that it is a gateway drug for addiction. The only people that are saying that are the ones that are still hooked on the whole reefer madness bullshit and are ignorant to the entirety of the subject and are just wanting to push, their own shit. I'm over that. I'm tired of my government wasting its time on something. Legalize the fucking plant. Fucking legalize it. We'll see what happens March 9th.